What up, what up? Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below. I'm Tom Smoke, and we're getting ripped. We just got done doing P90X week 7, day 4 yoga. And damn, that shit was tough. And if you join me, you know what I'm talking about. We did 90 minutes of flexibility, balance, posture, and abs. Oh, it was good. Got my white Under Armour sleeveless compression shirt. Looks pretty good on me. Shows off my muscles. Hell yeah. Post workout pump check. Damn. Getting pumped up. Day 11 into the 21-day shred. It's going pretty good. Had 8 ounces of pork tenderloin today. Had me a handful of nuts, kind of cheated a little bit. Had 3 eggs this morning. No cheese. A little bit of ketchup. Had a couple monsters. Got this last little bit of belly fat. See that little crease right there? It's just hanging. Hopefully by the end of this weekend, this shit's going to be nice and tight. Losing this last little bit of back fat, hopefully. Tighten up the love handles. Got a little bit of upper booty fat that I'm hoping will get tight as well. Lower chest. Finish off the job, and then hopefully start seeing all the little creases in the muscles and all the little cuts get in there. Hell yeah. Making some real good progress. About to have me a little scoop of protein. Finish off my protein macro quota for the day. You know, when you get lean, you really got to dial it in, and you got to lock in. You got to be meticulous. I kind of did a little diet earlier in the year, and my portions were too big, and I didn't get as low as I wanted to get, but I still knocked off all the fat that I earned over the holiday season, because I started off the year at 155, and then I dropped down to 130, and then I gained back up to about 145, 147-ish on the scale, but a lot of that was food weight. And now I'm back down to about 135, 136, and maybe even a little bit less. I didn't check my weight this morning, but I did have an appointment where I got my weight done, but I was fully dressed, and it was about 138 pounds. So we'll see what's up in the morning. I might post a video about it. I might not. But definitely be posting week 3, day 1 of the 21-day shred. So I'm really trying to dial it in during the weekday with pork tenderloin and broccoli and carrots as the main food source, with breakfast being eggs or protein. So this morning I actually had to skip my breakfast, and I had 2 scoops of protein instead of the usual 3 eggs. So as an alternative for the 3 eggs, you can substitute 1 scoop of whey isolate, preferably because of the macro focus on protein and the low amount of carbs and fats in the isolate. So anyway, follow along with me as I finish out this week and next week for the 21-day shred. And if you want to see how I did it, you got to follow along from the beginning, or check out the other playlist that I might have by then. So again, it's a rapid fat loss, protein sparing, modified fast. Just like Luther Versulian says, when you're doing a diet, when you're doing a cut, you got to use all of the diets. So you got to use part intermittent fasting, part keto, part Atkins diet, part, a little bit of everything, because as long as your calorie deficit is down, you may find that you got to skip your breakfast. You may have to eat more carbs up front and then eat more protein on the back end. You may find that you have a vegetable meal and then you have more of a meat focused meal at another time. So like you may have to mix and match. You may have to split different diet, approaches and techniques. But as long as you get the job done, that's ultimately what counts. You got to utilize all the tools in your toolboxes in order to build the house. You can't just use a hammer. You can't just use a saw. You can't just use an automatic nailer or a drill. You have to use everything at your disposal to get the job done. And if you're doing it on your own, like I was, like I am, you may have to experiment with what fits your macros better. You may try to experiment with your diet, having a base diet outline, like a skeleton diet, so to speak, and then add things in, see how it works, take those things out, add more things in, different things in, and just kind of play around with it. I've experimented with extra amounts of sweets and donuts and candies. There was a point in time last year where I did a series of ice cream sandwiches and a Reese's Pieces or Reese's Cups, whatever. But I supplemented a lot of my diet, padding with junk food, ice cream, eggnog, donuts, really specifically, mostly donuts. I was probably eating uh, at least a dozen a week, pretty consistently every week. So just that experimentation, trying to see how much weight I would gain on that, and dabbling around, I was able to find out what works for me as far as what my limits are, what threshold I start losing weight, what threshold I start, getting hungry, and really being able to dial in the diet and working through different diets to kind of know how they feel. Um, Really measuring out your portions, focusing on activities during the day to kind of get your mind off of snacking, and having scheduled feeding times really helps train the body to wait for the food. So if you're the type of person that I wouldn't say impulsively, responds to food noise, but if you don't have scheduled eating times, like a regular food window or whatever, and you kind of get food here and there, um, you may find a lot of benefit from setting a timer, putting an alarm on your phone, on a watch, whatever, and having set scheduled meal times. And maybe your break at work isn't at the same time every day, but if you can plan to have the same, hour or so, maybe 2 hour window at work to lock in your food break, and maybe try to set something up before work so that just in case, you need a little more time, you're expecting, maybe you're going to be hungry at whatever time and you can hold out until, you do get your food. But you might have to play around with your diet, try a couple things. This isn't something that you're going to lock in a few months. This is a 12-month to 24-month, uh, you know, experiment on yourself. What your favorite foods are, what are your trigger foods, what are your weaknesses, what, can you have in the house and you don't mind looking at it because you're not going to devour it. But there's other things that you can't even have in the house because if they're in the house, you're going to eat them. So If you got kids, maybe they like little snack cakes or they like different treats and stuff, and you got to get something for the kids. Maybe your wife wants something that you can't have. You have to make sure that you tell them that those are trigger foods for you. And while you're doing your diet, you just can't have them in the house. It's not a forever thing. It's not, you know, a ban on, them. It's just for you. It's better for you to not have those particular foods around because you have a weakness. And there's nothing wrong with having weaknesses. Everybody's got weaknesses, but you have to at least vocalize your concerns and let them know, like, hey, I'm trying to lose some weight. I'm trying to dial it and I'm trying to lock in. And this one thing is going to hold me up. So if you guys can like hide it from me, if we just don't buy it for a while, whatever, figure out a plan and do it. But you got to lock in. You got to be consistent. You got to have your diet in check. You got to have your training on point. You can't just diet and not lift weights. You're not going to work the athletic physique the right way. And certainly there's videos all over the place on YouTube talking about it, showing people how to do it. I got videos showing you how to do it. Doing the P90X, you can buy it online. You can buy it at your local video store, local sporting goods store. Lots of places to get it. You might already have a copy of the P90X. But if you're in your 40s, you ain't getting no younger, and it's almost getting too late to turn back. You might already know guys that are getting bad news from their doctor that they made bad choices, that they're paying now. You might be paying later. But the point is, you got to take care of yourself because nobody else is going to take care of you. If you want to be there for your family, you got to put in the work. You got to take care of yourself. So take that step. We're already halfway done with the P90X 90-day challenge. Week 7. Day 4 done. Tomorrow is week 7, day 5. We're doing legs and back. We're going to dominate. It's going to be tough, but we're tougher. So join me at midnight. We're going to be getting it in. And when that workout's done, we're going to be doing ab ripper X. So if you want a strong core and you want strong thighs, legs, and a strong back, put in the work. Be a commander and command respect. You got the eye of the tiger, the heart of the lion, and the hunger of the wolf. Prove it. Show me what you got. Do the rest of the 90-day challenge and see if you like it. See if it makes a difference. It changed my life. Last year I did 30-minute workouts doing the P90X3, and I made great progress. This year, I wanted to take it to the next level and do the hour P90X. I've been doing it for the last 8 months now, and I'm probably going to be doing it for a lot longer than that. So check me out. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm Tom Smoke, and I'm getting ripped, baby. Hell yeah.